Okay, so I've set the class on recording. Good evening, everybody. So, as you can see that we are going to start with the concept of class and object. Okay, class and object. So, for class and object, it's basically we are relating to object-oriented programming language, and Python is an object-oriented programming language. Okay, and almost everything in Python is a object with its properties and methods. I have told you about class. What is a class? A class is nothing but it's a blueprint for creating objects, and objects are instances of the classes. So these are some few basic definitions that I have already told you earlier, isn't it? So today I'm just going to explain you how to define a class in Python. Where for defining the class in Python, you have to declare it with the help of a class keyword. You have to declare it with the help of a class keyword. Okay, so class bike and name is a data variable, or you can say it's a class instance variable. And here we also have a variable called gear whose value we have initialized to 0. Okay, we have initialized the value to 0. So these two are the class instance variable. Means this you can also say that these two are global variables also. Okay, global variables, since they are outside of a function, and they are not they are inside a class but outside of a function, right? And here we are creating the object. Okay, here we are creating the object. Okay, so you can see, so create a bike object, object of class. So bike 1 equal to bike. So here we are creating the object of the class. Now bike1 dot gear equal to 11, and bike1 dot name equal to mountain bike. And here we have printed bike1 dot name and bike1 dot gear. So once you just click on this uh, run button, so you have to wait for a bit because it is connected to the runtime environment. Once it gets connected to the runtime environment, you can automatically see that you will get the output. So here the name will be mountain bike, and the gears will be 11. Total gears will be 11. Why? Because inside this curly bracket we are basically printing the formatted string. Okay, formatted string means here this is a string, and inside that we are trying to print the variable. So you can see that we are getting the output as uh, uh, mountain bike. Name is mountain bike, and gear is 11. Now you have to focus on this object creation. Please see, outside of the class we have created the object. Okay, we have created the object outside of the class. So see, here we are creating the object. This is the way to create object in Python. Okay, this is the way to create object in Python. Okay, now one more example I have stated over here of this object oriented programming. Like we have created a class called room, and we have two class instance variable or global variable. You can see like length equal to zero point 0 and breadth equal to zero point 0. Means we have initialized the value, because in Python you cannot leave the variable declared. Okay, you have to initialize it. You cannot leave it uninitialized. Okay, whether any type of variable it is, but you have to keep the variable initialized. Okay, so length is 0 and the breadth is 0, which is actually a floating point number. And in this calculate area, we have written self dot length multiplied by self dot breadth. Okay, so this, it is actually the calculation for finding out the area of the room. Means length into breadth. Okay, area of a rectangle also you can say. But here I have written something called self. Now you might be confused that, sir, why you have written here self. See, first thing I would like to tell you that this self is not a keyword. It is not a keyword. In place of self you can take any variable of your choice. Any variable of your choice. Now this self is actually similar to the this keyword of Java programming language, or C++ basically. Means its work is to, it will refer to the global variable. Okay, so see, self dot length means it is accessing the global variable, multiplied by again self dot breadth, which is actually itself a global variable. So self dot length multiplied by self dot breadth. Okay, self dot breadth. Now we have created an object of the class. We have created an object of the class. So here we have created the object of the class. Okay, and since you can see that after creating the object of the class, with this particular object you need to access the length. You need to access the length, and you need to provide a value to it. Otherwise every time your value will be 0 only. The area will always be 0 only. So it will be self dot length equal to 42.5, and that of breadth will be 30.8. Okay, so this is basically the assigning values to all the properties, all the properties. And here you can see that study underscore room dot calculate area, study underscore room dot calculate area. Basically study underscore room dot calculate area is actually what? Study underscore room dot calculate area. This is actually the function, this calculate function, which is actually going to display you the area. Okay, that means length multiplied by breadth. Okay, so this is, we are actually accessing the method from inside of the class room. Okay, so do anybody has any questions still here? So I have resumed the recording once again, and let's see. I have made one more programming. That is, I've created a class called animal, where we have a string variable, right? String variable. This is a variable whose data type we have declared as a blank string, and I've written a function called eat, where I have printed I can eat. I can eat. Okay. Then I have written one class. There I have one class called dog, and that class is actually it's inheriting. It's inheriting animal class. Okay, it's inheriting animal class. So this animal class is inherited by dog. This is nothing called. It is called single inheritance. Okay, single inheritance where a single child class named dog is inheriting a single parent class called animal. That's why it is called single inheritance. Sometimes people also call it the simple inheritance. So all are same: simple inheritance, single inheritance, all are same. Okay, so here we have class dog, and it is inheriting the class called animal. So always suppose there is a class called a, or you suppose there is a class called parent. Okay, there is a class called parent, and if there is a class called child, so this is how the child inherits a parent class. This is how a child inherits a parent class. Okay, this is the only syntax that is present in Python to inherit the classes. Okay, now whenever you inherit the animal class, all the properties that are present inside the animal class will now be present inside the child class. Okay, that is the dog class. So here, from here, we are getting one function called eat, and here itself there is one new function, or you can say the unique function present inside our dog, and that is nothing but it is actually a display function. Okay, now the class dog has got two functions. Okay, it has got two functions. One is called display. One is the display, and the other one is eat. Okay, one is display and the other one is eat. Getting the point? So inside this display I have written my name and I have printed the name, and after that I have created an object called a dog, or of dog called labrador, and with the help of labrador I have given one name. Then I have called the eat function. Okay, see, I have created an object of the child class. The object of the child class is basically created. Okay, the object of the child class is created. Getting the point? Child class is the dog class. Okay, it is the child class. So we have created an object of the child class. Now with the help of the object of the child class, you are accessing name. Now you might say me ask me a question, sir. Here we have the name inside the parent class, but you are accessing it inside child class. How it is possible? It is only possible because of this inheritance. Because of this inheritance, so we are accessing it and allowing some other name, okay, to pass through it, and then we are calling this eat function, which is also a part of animal class, but it since it is inheriting, so it is also available in the inside the child class, that is the dog class. So we are accessing the eat also, and we are accessing display also. Now if you run this particular example, okay, you will get the output like I can eat and my name is Rohit. Okay, so that's the concept, right? So is this example, I have written one more example, the same example. See, here I have written one example of animal, and the same example I have repeated over here. But it is not same. I'm telling you. Please try to understand. Here, you know what I have done. Here I have actually, who is this? Here I have done what? I have actually created one class called animal, where we have the same attribute like the previous class, that is name. Okay, and inside that we have a function called eat, and I have written here I can eat, the same as the previous example, there is no changes. Okay, and same thing, like the class dog has inherited animal in the previous example, similarly here also class dog has inherited the animal, right? Now why I have written this example, I have written this example just to demonstrate the concept of a method overriding. A method overriding, always I told that method overriding is possible in different classes. Always it is possible in different classes, not in same class. So animal is a class and here dog is a class. Now when dog class inherits animal class, when dog class inherits animal class, okay, when dog class inherits animal class, you know, when this dog class is inheriting animal class, okay, so this is actually the function called eat. This eat function is actually coming inside this dog class. Okay, and now you see that this dog class itself has a function called eat, which is similar to the function of the parent class. That means the dog class is going to have two eat functions, right? Two eat functions, which is not at all possible, because a same type of two functions cannot be present inside a single class. So what will happen? The function which it is borrowing from the animal class or the parent class will be overridden by the function of the child class, by the function of the child class, right? So this function will not execute, and the function of the child class will prevail. Okay, and the function of the child class will prevail, right? The function of the child class will prevail, and that's it. So here you can see, after that we have created an object of a dog, okay, that is labrador, and with the help of this dog, labrador, I have called this eat function. Now you can see that I can eat will not be printed, I like to eat bones would be printed. Okay, please see, I like to eat bones would be printed. Why? Because the function of the parent class will be overridden by the function of the child class. Okay, this is what we call that. Again, I wrote the same function. What is the name of the class? The name of the class is animal itself, and here you can see we have written a function called eat. Inside it, it is simply written I can eat. Okay, and again we have a class called a dog. A dog inside. Okay, dog, inside which it is written eat. Okay, inside it which it is written eat. So you can see here that we have one function called eat in the parent class, and again we have a function called eat in the child class. Now you had say, sir, the same example we have repeated. Okay, then what is the difference between these two? See, the difference between these two is that I would like to say that that the class animal is actually inherited by class dog. Okay, the class animal has been inherited by class dog, and we are inheriting this function also, like a def eat. Def eat is actually getting inherited. Okay, and def eat is actually getting inherited, right? Def it is getting inherited. Okay, now again the dog class is going to have two functions, same function, that is eat, which is not at all possible to execute. So what will happen? The function of the child class will override the function of the parent class, means the parent class function eat will not be executed, okay, and the function of child class, that is eat will be executed. Now, is there any way to execute the function of the parent class? Yes, there is one way, and that is called super. Super. Now, with the help of this super keyword, now here super is used as a function. So, with the help of this super, you can call the function of the parent class. Now, please try to understand. Inside the function of the child class, we are calling the function of the parent class with the help of super and super. Okay, and always it is going to be the first line of the child class if you want to make use of super. Okay, if you want to make use of super, it is going to be the first. Okay, it is going to be the first line of the child class program function, and after that it is written I like to eat bones. Okay, then we have created an object of dog, and we have created called the eat function. Now you will see both the function will get executed, I can eat and I like to eat bones, but previously it was only showing I like to eat bones, which was actually an example of method overriding. But here you can see that it is written what I like to eat, I can eat and I like to eat bones. Both is written over here. Okay, so this is actually the concept where we have made the use of a super keyword to access the function of the parent class, okay, or objects of the parent class into child class. Okay, this is basically the use of a super keyword with the use of